welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to Sunday night's Everton 24/7 report. It's been another lazy Sunday with very few concrete rumours to bring you. The main story of today revolves around a name which refuses to go away as far as Everton are concerned. Reports in France suggested earlier today that we were in talks to sign Lyon's Burkina Faso winger Bertrand Traore. However, the Liverpool Echo have stated today, courtesy of David Prentice, that contrary to those reports, we are not pursuing Traore at this moment in time. Now, that has been met with a mixed reception on our own Twitter poll, with a narrow 56% majority giving Traore the nod. As I've mentioned before, I wouldn't personally mind Traore. I just think as left-footed wingers go, there are a lot better options out there, and perhaps that may be the perception of our wider fan base. Also, given our desire to sort out the whole striker and centre-back conundrums first, no interest at this moment in time sounds about right to me. Hopefully we will get some business done in both directions with time to spare, and then maybe we can see what the lay of the land is over these sort of rumours, which, while they are exciting, I suppose, they aren't the pressing matter right now. But hopefully there'll come a time where we can get excited over this stuff in the not-so-distant future. I said we needed to get rid of some players, and speaking of trying to get players out the door, one man who seems really keen to stay put at Everton is Yannick Bolasie, who spent last season on loan at Aston Villa first and then Anderlecht. He says he's desperate for another chance at Everton, and he hopes that participating in the African Cup of Nations with the Democratic Republic of the Congo doesn't hinder his chances of getting a good pre-season under his belt at Everton. However, we are well overstocked on wingers, as I've just discussed, with Bolasie arguably at this moment in time the sixth choice winger at Everton. And at the age of 30, knowing Marcel Brands' under-26 policy, I'd imagine that his fight for his place may well be in vain, and he will be leaving Everton sooner rather than later. Now, another very ambitious-looking signing who was linked with us a few weeks ago on a free transfer was Adrien Rabiot, and it was a transfer that sparked a lot of debate between our fans about what would be a clearly talented signing, a statement signing, if you like, versus the whole character side of things, and he's a rather arrogant and lazy player who lost his place in the PSG team after he rejected a contract and let it run down to move for free. Now, given the whole Lukaku and Barkley fiascos of the last couple of years, he may well be the kind of character you'd imagine we want to move on from. Now, if that was your point of view, well, we've dodged the bullet because Gianluca Di Marzio, a leading journalist in Italy, has stated that Rabiot is sealing the deal today to move to Juventus when his PSG contract expires in precisely 1 day. Just let that sink in. July's already upon us, guys. Staying in France, and the rumours hot up again about us going after the Marseille winger Lucas Ocampos. I mentioned this one about 2 weeks ago, I think now, and there's a relatively cheap fee of around 15 million, as Marseille are increasingly anxious, apparently, to sell players and meet their financial fair play regulations. As a right-footed winger, as I've just gone on about 100 times already, and particularly about Bolasie just then, we would need to shift a few wingers if this is to be a goer. But there's no doubt about it, in this market, 15 million euros for a 24-year-old is a snip. So maybe with Bolasie, Lookman and Onyekuru exit later, this could be a fine move, but until then, again, it's an ill-afforded luxury and I can't see us using more resources to stockpile wingers. Finally, on the transfer front, a brief update on Che Everton Adams, who is Everton by name but is looking a lot less likely to be Everton by nature. He is expected to complete the formalities of his move to Southampton, which I mentioned yesterday. That's looking to be done tomorrow now. Adams is a pacey young striker with a really good strike rate at championship level. He scored 22 in the championship last season. Whether or not that would translate to goals in the Premier League remains to be seen, and only time will tell whether or not we've opted against a striker who could well have solved our scoring issues up top, and we will continue to look for alternatives, it seems. Finally, a bit more on the plans for the new stadium, and Everton plan to renovate the Grade 2 listed hydraulic tower in the Bramley Moor dock, and I've asked fans for suggestions on the land use for that building, with a museum, club shop or a club bar among the suggestions. Of course, the Pump House pub, very notable in the Albert Dock, is a converted hydraulic tower in its own right, So could we have an iconic pub of our own next to our new stadium? All these rumours coming around about the stadium now does seem like things are starting to move a little bit quicker on the stadium front, and I'd imagine they're only going to pick up speed now a little bit more once the second consultation period comes to an end at the end of this summer, and then obviously we've got the planning permission hopefully by the end of this year. So it looks as if time's moving on very, very quickly, and out of nowhere we are into July tomorrow. And with that comes the start of pre-season. We're all looking forward to see the lads back at Finch Farm tomorrow. Andre Gomez is going to be there, of course, but which other new faces will be there to join him? Plenty of rumours, and you'll get them all here. So be sure to tune in again tomorrow for another Everton 24/7 report. Until then, thanks for watching again on the Toffee Blues.